Hello and welcome to the daily crypto market review starting with Bitcoin. So right now we are seeing Bitcoin is taking a correction and retesting the support level that I draw. If you have been following the channel, you might be knowing that it's a lot of time I have drawn this support level from quite a while ago, and BTC is supporting this and apparently BTC is respecting this support level as well. When it was a resistance level, BTC was being strongly rejected from this point. When we broke above this level and even performed a fake out, BTC was still respecting it as a support, and then when on 9th of August it went down in the speculation for the rate high interest for the CPI numbers, as the CPI numbers were not around announced before 9th of August. So we saw a crash in the market, and as soon as the CPI numbers were announced on 10th of August, we saw a boom in the market. And right now we are seeing the stock market as well as BTC respecting this larger channel as well as this smaller channel. We saw a rejection on the upper boundary of this channel. However, the bigger trend is still on the upside for 4 hourly time frame only. If we see on today 11th of August, we saw a rejection on the point of BTC formed a high of $24,920 and formed a rejection from there. Although it was not a very strong rejection, we could say it is retesting the support, and now I expect BTC to continue the upside motion until and unless we have any bad news or FUD in the market. However, the $24,000 seem to be a very likely range in which Bitcoin will be hovering for quite a while, as we were hovering in the range of $22,700 to 24,000 and were being constantly rejected between these levels. Right now I am expecting BTC to start this new range, and the range would be to continue the uptrend motion that would be in a larger time frame, forming higher highs is even the higher lows as well in the market scenario. That would be bullish for the short term. However, how much short term we'll be discussing shortly in this video. So right now I expect BTC to continue the upside motion, and if we are to extend this channel, then we can see what levels we are looking for the extension and Bitcoin to hit the targets. Bitcoin could I expect hit the target of around $25,000. That is where I expect a strong rejection, and which is likely we'll be heading towards one of these two supports. The first support would be at this point, that is the level which is already tested right now, and if we continue to bounce from this support, we would be forming a double bottom pattern in a 4-hour time frame, and that would be huge for BTC and would boom out of this rising channel to test the 26,000 or even $28,000 level. However, the second possible scenario to watch out, since the cryptocurrency and the trading is game of possibilities, the other support to be tested, which is exactly coinciding with the rising channel as well as the horizontal support level of 22,700 and even the 200 weekly moving average. If we see, these are the three supports coinciding all together. So overall this is a very strong support area for BTC. If we see, this is around the area that 23,000 to 22,700 would be the area which BTC can test if the rejection would be very strong, or we see a strong sell off between the level of $25,000 to $24,500 level. This is the very near future or a small time frame scenario for BTC I expect to play out. However, major things are dependent on the stock market as well as the macroeconomic situation right now, which are both bullish in the short time frame. However, you need to be cautious that we are still in the quantitative tightening phase, and this is overall bearish for the market, and we'll be having the next interest rate hikes in month of September. Overall, we are seeing Bitcoin dominance falling, and it is still below the level of 40.9%, which is overall a small in terms of BTC, as BTC is should have at least 50% to 45% of the dominance at least for a healthy recovery of the market. This is showing that the trend will not be continued for a long term, and it definitely has to go down until and unless we see a boom in Bitcoin dominance. and that is when we can expect a permanent or a sustained movement towards the upside, which is now in no sight right now. Even if we see on the larger time frame, that is the monthly time frame for the month of August, if we zoom into the target area, this is the monthly time frame chart for BTC. Right now we are seeing the second month has the opening candle of 22,000 or sorry, $23,300, and right now the price is at above $24,000 level. If we continue to move upwards for the month of August, then definitely, as the year's historical data represents, in the month of we have a green month of February and a small green month of March. Then we saw sudden three red candles after two small green candles. Similar was the case in the month of July 21 and August 2021. We saw two green candles, one red candle, and then we formed the all-time high, and after that we formed three red candles. Right now we are again forming two green candles. If the month of August remain bullish, then I am clearly expecting at least half of the September to remain bearish, and that would be the scenario which we can test the bottom of this channel as well, which the logarithmic ascending lines as well, which is about the levels of that depends at the time frame and the point at where it would touch this curve, as the price will be varying between 12,000 to even 13,000 or even 14,000, if depending on which point the curve would be touched by the BTC line right now. If we are to see historical data on March 2020, we saw the BTC touched this trend line, curve line, and then bounced off strongly from this line. Similarly, if we saw on the previous bear markets, we saw on July or August of 2016, we touched briefly this trend line, as well as in December to September and August 2015. This was the point where definitely you have to not stop or even come around the FUD. You will be seeing a lot of FUD in the market, that Tether will be collapsing and other things will be collapsing. Obviously there is a chance of Tether being collapsed, and that would be a scenario that would be the worst time for the crypto market overall. When everyone is fearful, you should start buying the cryptocurrency over, as you remember on in the month of July we saw Terra Luna crash, in month of May we saw Terra Luna crash, and then afterwards followed by the crash of overall stock market as well as the crypto market. We saw a big crash in the cryptocurrency market, and that is where we saw BTC fell all the way down towards a percentage of 37%. Price of BTC fell down from 31,000 all the way down to 17,000, approximately 37 to 40% of the depreciation in the price of Bitcoin. That is where you should have picked BTC. If you are following on Twitter, you must have been picking BTC at 18,000 to $19,000 level, where I started accumulating, and right now we are overall in profits. Even if we hit $28,000 level, that would be a very good place to sell BTC, where I would be selling the way I started dollar cost averaging into BTC. Similarly, I would be dollar cost averaging outside the BTC. The upper we go as we are in a larger downtrend right now. Overall, I am bullish for the very short term, at least for the month of August. However, it depends upon the news, as we have the China macroeconomic situations as well going right now. So that would dictate whether BTC is going even in the month of August upside. However, if we saw any bad news, even BTC can form a big red candle in the month of August as well. If we see, we have only one green candle here in the month of October, then three red candles. So this could be scenario here as well, that you can see a red candle just after this one green candle of July. So that is the overall scenario, that but this points towards, in a nutshell, more bearish scenario towards the September. Even if you see the September for the last year, that was around here. So September formed a red candle last year as well. It was for after two green candles. So right now we are having two green candles, July and August, and then we can expect a red candle for September. So this is the data which I thought should be useful for you to extrapolate the price of BTC in the coming months, as well as pointed by the macroeconomic situation, as we have interest rate hikes and the China-Taiwan situation can go wrong anytime. So overall, I'd be cautious as I'm overall in profit since I started accumulating BTC at 17,000, 18,000 and 19,000. So I'll be TCing out of the BTC here. Moving on towards Ethereum, it is a good time for Ethereum if you have bought Ethereum in outside this price range. We started to accumulate Ethereum at $1,650 level, and right now, as if you are following the updates for quite a while, I already pointed out that this is a very strong resistance zone for Ethereum. Ethereum was constantly rejected even on the 4-hour time frame from this resistance level. The level started from $1,730 to $1,900 level, and if you zoom in precisely, you are exactly seeing that Ethereum is finding a very hard time to break above this level and even close a single 4-hour candle above it. However, if Ethereum closes a single 4-hour candle, we can see a particular scenario which we saw on 30th of July. Ethereum closed a 4-hour candle in the support in the resistance zone and was rejected strongly after the close of the candle inside the resistance zone. More precisely, what would be the validation of continuation of the uptrend would be if you see a daily candle close above this resistance zone. That would be at least a higher probability of surety, since trading is all about surety. Trading is all about probabilities, not certainty or surety, as no one can be sure 100% whether at what price the next move for a particular cryptocurrency would be. So overall, I am bullish in the short term. At least Ethereum should touch $2,000 level, similar to BTC. When BTC would touch $25,000 to $26,000 range, we can see a clear path towards the $28,000 range in the short term. If you are following from start of the video, you might be knowing the conditions I have already told while discussing the Bitcoin technical analysis on monthly time frame as well as the 4-hourly time frame, that this is the scenario we would be following. Moving on towards the stock market or the tech stocks, which you might be noticing are one of the most important driving forces behind Bitcoin and overall cryptocurrency market. So right now we are seeing Nasdaq opened in green and is continuing its way upwards. If you are following the updates from quite a while, you must be knowing that I drew this strong resistance zone for the Nasdaq, where I expected Nasdaq would be reversing from this zone, and that is exactly what happened. Nasdaq rejected from this horizontal support, and right now we are going to retest this resistance. If broken, then we can see continuation of the uptrend for BTC as well as the stock market. Moving on towards S&P 500, S&P 500 has been performing very well, and the next resistance level, a strong resistance level for S&P 500 would be around $4,300, which is where we see the control price zone, and that is where S&P 500 last time rejected and fell down, which I expect could happen anytime soon. If S&P 500 continues the bullish move upwards, that would be about a gain of 1.5%. If S&P 500 moves 1.5% above, it could happen in a day or even in the next week, as it is the last day of stock market for this week. So overall, S&P 500 can strike the strong resistance zone and even reject from there. That would be bearish for in a very shorter time frame, for daily time frame as well as 4-hourly time frame. But I expect S&P 500 and Nasdaq to be continuing upwards, as we have another major player, that is the dollar currency index. The dollar currency index is supposedly retracing right now, and after testing this trend line briefly, although it's very zoomed inside for dollar currency index, since it is a very large scale speculation. So I would be seeing the retest. After the successful retest of this trend line, we can see continuation of the upside motion for dollar currency index. At least in the month of September, it should go up, where we can see the bleeding of altcoins as well as the Bitcoin and even overall stock market, because of the main reason of the interest rate hikes to be continued from the month of September. As well as historically, September has been bearish for stocks as well as cryptocurrencies, and other scenarios were discussed in the beginning of the videos, that why I am overall bearish for September and micro bullish in the small time frame. Although 25,000 to $28,000 range is not really bullish target for BTC overall, if you are in altcoins, which I post time to time on Twitter, then you can be sitting on good profits if you trade responsibly and do your risk to reward ratio, and don't let your feelings overtake your plan for success. Overall, that is the scenario I think would be playing out in a smaller time frame as well as a larger time frame. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.